सेबेस्टियन वेटल। भाई इस बंदे का नाम लेते हैं ना, फील सी आ जाती है। ही इज़ वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट Formula 1 drivers of all times and one of the most beloved people the sport have ever seen. Sebastian has won 53 victories in Formula 1. He has gathered 57 pole positions, more than 3,000 points, and have won 4 World Drivers' Championship. That is huge. These 53 victories have only been bettered by two people, Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher. It's not only the on-track activities that has made him a world champion or a star, it is the off-track activities more that I feel that has made him so humble, so down-to-earth and the champion of our hearts. All I can say is that Formula 1 will be a poorer sport without him. I sometimes imagine how people change the world we live in, and this guy has changed the sport that we so belovedly love. This Sunday, when Sebastian Vettel will be racing for his last lap, I will be in tears, and I'm sure a lot of people will be as well. Let's take this time out and give an honor to this great and this legend and understand and review his story one last time. Norbert, Seb's father, was a carpenter and his mother Heike had 3 other children to raise. Seb is a family guy first. His family's support helped him to achieve what he has done till now. Vettel suggested in an interview that he was terrible at school, but he passed with respectable grades. His childhood heroes were 3 Michaels. First, Michael Schumacher, Michael Jordan, and then Michael Jackson. He mentioned that he wanted to be a singer like Jackson, but realized that he didn't have that voice to become one. Vettel is also a big fan of the Beatles, and his favorite songs being Drive My Car. Vettel married his childhood friend Hannah Parter at a private ceremony in the early 2019, and they have 3 children. His best friend is Kimi Räikkönen, who was his teammate in 2015 to 2018 in Ferrari. He made his karting debut at the age of 7 and immediately began to winning ways. One of his early trophies was presented by his idol Michael Schumacher. Vettel was awestruck in that moment. Schumacher encouraged Vettel to follow his passion and reach for the top, but that would take more money than Vettel could afford. The solution came in the form of sponsorship that Red Bull, whose talent spotter decided Sebastian was worthy of the inclusion in the energy drinks Young Drivers program. Learning and improving all the time, he graduated with flying colors into the single-seaters. As a small age of 17-year-old schoolboy, he won an unprecedented 18 out of 20 races to dominate the German Formula BMW Championship. At 18, he distinguished himself as the testing BMW William F1 car. At 19, he became a test driver of BMW's Sauber F1 team, underlining his commitment to the cause by moving to a village near the Swiss-based team headquarters. Mark Crack, the current team principal of Aston Martin and his former engineer at BMW Sauber days, saw the potential in Vettel during the Sauber days. Although he may not be the greatest raw talent out there, but he surely has a work ethic and a conduct to perform at the highest level. During his days as a test driver for Sauber, he had a habit of spending countless hours with the engineers and trying to study and analyze the data. He would often provide insightful information to the technical team, which helped them in improving the overall car performance. His proactive attitude and strong work ethic gave him the nod after the Kubica crash. Hence, his Formula 1 race debut came in 2007 in the US Grand Prix at Indianapolis. After replacing injured Robert Kubica, he qualified 7th and finished 8th, becoming the youngest driver to score a championship point. In the midsummer, the teenager became a full-time racing driver with Red Bull-sponsored Toro Rosso team. In the Italian Grand Prix of 2008, on a super-fast Monza track that was made treacherous by the rain, the youngest ever pole sitter made yet another history, when he won the race to become the youngest ever Grand Prix winner and gave Toro Rosso their first ever win, in spite being the smallest team on the grid. He was cheerful, funny, and radiated an infectious enthusiasm. His sunny disposition was a reflection of pure pleasure he got from racing, and underneath the happy-go-lucky demeanor was a fierce ambition and profound self-belief in his ability to win championship sooner than later. In 2009, he was promoted to the main team Red Bull Racing, where he was teamed up with the veteran Mark Webber, a decade older but not as faster as it turned out. Vettel pushed the championship leader Jenson Button as hard as he could as the Red Bull tried to break the Braun GP's deadlock. He proved his mettle that season as he won the third very race of the season. In China, to give Red Bull Racing their first Formula 1 win. He dominated the second half of the season, winning 3 more races and finishing 11 points behind Jenson Button and second in the overall Drivers' Championship. Coming in 2010 season, Red Bull had not announced their numero uno, but according to the team principal Christian Horner, the upgrades will only be provided to the team leader based on the current point scored positions. This season, Vettel faced 3 former world champions, Alonso, Button and Hamilton, together with the bruised and sharpened Mark Webber, who all took turns leading the championship. The season started with Fernando's domination, and Mark Webber's experience got him the necessary wins and points under the belt. Vettel, in spite of proving his worth in the previous season by outperforming teammate Mark Webber in 2009, wasn't the clear favourites going in 2010. For British Grand Prix, Vettel got the wings upgrade, as he outscored Webber till that point. This created a natural rift in the team, and it didn't go well with Webber. Mark made his love lost clear for Vettel after he won that race, and quoted that he is the number 2 driver. This proved to change the momentum in Mark Webber's favour, as Vettel started committing many mistakes and was often described as reckless. Well, that's how one's character is defined, especially when the odds are against you or when the chips are down. As we approached the last 2 rounds of the season, it became clear that it's going to be either Alonso or Webber going to win the championship. Though Vettel won the penultimate race, but it didn't mean much, as he was still 7 points behind Webber and 15 points behind Alonso. Still, Webber and Vettel's combined results enabled Red Bull Racing to clinch their first ever Constructors' Championship at the penultimate race in Brazil. In the grand finale of Abu Dhabi, Vettel earned his 5th victory of the season with another flawless drive from pole to win. He only led the title at one stage in 2010, in the last lap of the race. In the race, no one counted on Vettel, as the rival Ferrari strategists were only feeding Alonso Webber's position. Vettel won that race and along with the championship. None of his rivals scored enough points to deprive Sebastian Vettel of the title he fully deserved. The 2010 world champion, aged 23 years and 133 days, he was the youngest in the 61 years history of the sport. To best Weltmeister, Sebastian Vettel, take a bow.
Okay, Sebastian, good job. I need to wait until everybody crosses the line. I need to wait, but it's looking good. You just wait, sunshine, you just wait. Hamilton, P2, Button, P3. There's another 2 cars coming round in 15 and 16. Rosberg, P4, Kubica, P5, Du bist Weltmeister!
Thank you, boys. Unbelievable. Thank you, I love you. I need a moment.
Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion! The world champion, well done, enjoy it! You are the man!
In 2011, title defense amounted to a season-long victory parade in which he seemed to be keep winning just for fun, beating all comers on all type of circuits and clinching his 2nd consecutive world championship with 4 races to go. His commanding performance of 11 wins, 6 other podiums and a record 15 poles in 19 races made 24-year-old Sebastian Vettel the youngest double world champion. In 2012, Vettel triumphed over both adversities and formidable opposition that included 5 other world champions: Alonso, Hamilton, Button, Raikkonen and Schumacher itself. Ferrari's hard-driving veteran Alonso made 3 victories and took a substantial lead in the standings. But taking a full advantage of steadily improving RB8 car, Vettel surged back into the contention, scoring 4 race wins in a row plus 3 other podiums to lead the title race and help Red Bull Racing clinch its 3rd successful team championship. But the title bout between Vettel and Alonso was far from over. For the 27th time in the history, the championship was decided in the last race. This time, it was the chaotic Brazilian Grand Prix, made such by rain. In Brazil 2011, Vettel started 4th and Alonso 8th. After the first turn, Vettel was facing the wrong end of the track, and up ahead, Alonso overtook Webber to almost secure the championship that year. He sustained permanent damage to the chassis and dropped last in the place. Vettel responded to his misfortune with a masterful drive in an ailing car and finally emerged from the mist to secure 6th position and beat Alonso to the title by 3 points. He was the youngest triple world champion and was ranked equal with such an illustrious names like Brahman, Nicky, PK and Senna. As a student of the sport's history, he was honored to be in such a company. Though he remained humble about this achievement and an essential private person, he steered clear of the celebrity culture in which he could easily be a superstar he was fast becoming in his profession. After winning the Indian Grand Prix, he made the donuts on the BIC circuit and did a Dandavat Pranam to his RB9 car. Overwhelmed was the word Vettel used to sum up his feeling on the victory podium. The championship feat came with the 10th victory and his 6th in a row in the 16th round of the 19-race season. As ever, Vettel profusely thanked his all-conquering Red Bull Racing team, paying a particular tribute to the RB9's brilliant designer Adrian Newey. Newey noted that the young champion had matured into nearly flawless driver and a peerless team leader. All Vettel's rivals praised him, including his teammate Mark Webber, whom he had beaten in Malaysia despite the team orders to let Webber win. Immediately following the post-race ceremony, the record-setting champion pitched to help his team back, to pack up the equipment for shipment to the next race. He went on to win the remaining 3 races of 2013, thus equaling Ascari's 60-year-old record of 9 consecutive race victories. Vettel's 4th driving title, which equaled him to Alain Prost's record in as many years, placed him the select company of 2 most successful champions, Fangio and Schumacher, whose 4 in a row achievement came when they were aged at 45 and 32 respectively. But Vettel did it when he was 26 years and 123 days old, giving him plenty of time to further rewrite the record books in which his name is already indelibly described. After Mark Webber's retirement in 2014, Sebastian Vettel was joined by Daniel Ricciardo. This year, Formula One saw a major change in regulations from V8 engines to V6 turbo hybrid engines. In this season, his new teammate, Daniel Ricciardo, won 3 races, finished a superb 3rd overall, but Vettel failed to finish a race and finished 5th in the standing. In the pursuit of new challenges, he decided to accept the offer to join Ferrari in 2015, a 3-year contract to replace the departing world champion again, Fernando Alonso. The new relationship worked wonders, with Vettel's inspirational leadership providing and demonstrating an impressive work ethic and a cheerful demeanor that uplifts morale. In 2015 season, which was otherwise dominated by Mercedes, Sebastian Vettel's 3 race wins among 10 podium finishes earned him the 3rd place among the drivers and led Ferrari to a 2nd place in the team standing. But unfortunately, he was not able to win a single race in 2016. Towards the end, Vettel was skeptical in renewing their contract with Ferrari and had given them an ultimatum for 2017. This led the firing of James Allison, their head of design, and the elevation of Mattia Binotto as the technical director and the chief designer of SF70H. The team also hired Rory Bryan as the chief consultant for the car design. These changes made Ferrari competitive again, and Vettel gave an amazing challenge to Hamilton and Mercedes for 2017 and 18 season, as Vettel won 9 races during this time. Being competitive wasn't enough for Vettel. He wanted more. At the beginning of 2019 season, Maurizio Arrivabene was sacked as the team principal and Mattia Binotto was made the team principal of Ferrari. It is said to believe that Vettel was an instrumental person in this change. Vettel was extremely pleased with the environment set in the team. He felt comfortable and was looking forward of race wins. Surprisingly, SF90 showed tremendous potential in the pre-season test, and it appeared that they will be able to finish the job that they couldn't in the past 2 seasons. But unfortunately, Ferrari was just not there at the season opener in Bahrain. They couldn't figure out the reason for lack of the pace. The team looked dumbfounded and had no answers for the same. The only statement that relieves was the wind tunnel simulations weren't correlated with the actual performance. Carr's lack of performance wasn't the only problem with the team. They hired Charles Leclerc as Seb's partner, and they weren't able to sort out the hierarchy between the two drivers. The rift was evident at several qualifying sessions. As the team couldn't sort out the tow order for the two drivers, the position of Vettel within the team was somewhat compromised and belittled by the arrival of Charles. At the Russian Grand Prix, Vettel took the lead on lap 1 and was way ahead of second place Leclerc. Charles was heard complaining as he expected Vettel to give back the lead, but that didn't happen. To even out the situation, Charles was brought in at lap 22 and Vettel was deliberately kept out till lap 26, which resulted in Vettel losing the place to Charles. Again later in the season, Charles and Vettel crashed into each other, where the onus of the blame was entirely put on Vettel. Despite such atrocities within the team, Vettel had put a stellar performance at the Singapore Grand Prix, which was Vettel's last race win in his Formula 1 career. In 2020, the 33-year-old German found his Ferrari SF1000, which was nicknamed by him as Lucilla, was far less to his liking than did his ambition. This harsh truth came near the start of the season when the team advised Vettel his contract would not be renewed for 2021, when he would be replaced by the uprising Spanish star, 26-year-old Carlos Sainz from McLaren. Usually, Vettel never had a habit of washing the dirty linen in public, but he acknowledged the fact at the time of Ferrari's announcement, Vettel wasn't even aware of the news. In some manner, it was perceived as a stark betrayal of his trust by the same person who he helped move up the ladder. Vettel joined Aston Martin in 2021 and again proved his valor by constantly outperforming his teammate Lawrence Stroll in both seasons 21 and 22. He scored the only podium earned by the team, and Aston Martin could have had another podium with Vettel, but it was taken away because of the fuel regulations at the end of the race. In the last season 2022, Vettel missed the opening 2 rounds of the season and still leads his teammate by significant margin. Vettel was mentored by Michael Schumacher in his early days. And it's extremely worthy to point out that at Michael's last race in Brazil 2012, Michael helped Vettel by giving him his position, which proved a pivotal point in the championship decider that season. Vettel had a bittersweet relationship with Mark Webber, Danny Ricciardo and Christian Horner. Although Vettel is a very conserved person and doesn't like to discuss off-track relationships in public, he maintained utmost respect for his rivals at all times. Even during his battle with Hamilton in 17, 18 and 19, he seemed to laud Mercedes whenever they won. He believed in self-development and constant improvement as a mantras of success. The only notable outrageous incident in Vettel's career was 2019 Canadian Grand Prix, where many experts believed he was unduly and wrongfully handed a 5-second penalty for running off the course and gaining advantage, whereas it should have been treated as a racing incident. Sebastian Vettel refused to attend the post-race podium celebration, but then he eventually did attend it. But we can never forget that he swapped the banner of first and second position with Hamilton's car, perhaps signaling FIA that he means business. The most iconic moment in Vettel's relationship with Hamilton was when he was the first one to reach out and empathize Hamilton after the culmination of Abu Dhabi Grand Prix 21. This portrayed the metal and the substance of who Vettel truly is. A master of his work, humble, playful and joyous. This is Sebastian Vettel. Vettel is one of the nicest, the most down-to-earth, a wonderful human being to ever grace Formula 1. Whatever future is for him, Sebastian Vettel will always be a legend of Formula 1 and the sport will be a poorer place without him. In recent past, Vettel has fought hard to highlight various issues the world is facing. He stood by Lewis Hamilton strongly in 2020 when the cause of Black Lives Matter was pushed into the spotlight more than ever after the killing of George Floyd. He was seen in Hungary 2021 wearing a rainbow shirt, face mask and shoe, protesting against several countries' archaic laws and attacks on LGBTQ+ community. Vettel has used various helmet design in 2020 to spread the message, such as Say No to War, a design following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, his climate change helmets, Save the Beasts, and Stop Mining Tar Sands helmet from Canada. As an ambassador of the sport, he has been superb and highlighted issues that in the 21st century shouldn't even be issues at all. He is fighting for what is right for all humans and planet as a whole. That alone makes him a legend and shows of what a wonderful human being Sebastian Vettel is. In his own words, Sebastian Vettel do not want to be remembered by the number of races or championships that he's won. He just want to be remembered how he was so kind, so attentive, and how he was just there in Formula 1. He was that kind of a person who cared very deeply about the issues that were close to his heart and used to go out of the way to make a difference. You, Sebastian Vettel, sir, you are an inspiration to all of us. Danke, Seb. Du bist der Weltmeister der Arsen.